Some people say, well, why do I need to protect a metal fence? Well, if you've got an aluminum fence and you look at the bottom and see all the paint chipped off, you want to protect it. We break fence armor up into several different product lines. For instance, we call this full protection. Full protection speaks to the fact that you cover the post 360 degrees all the way around. So we have a piece on either side. That piece on either side is quite important. Assuming you don't have access to your neighbor's side of the fence, you can just use one piece. If you have a neighbor-friendly fence, you only can have one piece because your post is here and your pickets are on the other side. If you have a mailbox post, on the other hand, you can get all the way around it, and now you can put that on the bottom and you're good. You also have the ability to work on rectangular lumber. So if this is 6x4, well, there's your 6x6. Now you can shrink it down. There's your 6x4. And you shrink it down, and there's your 6x3, and so forth. And that's true of all our fence armor products. It allows to overlap and engage the lumber you've got with the shape you've got. To make it beautiful, we decided to take another step and use the best powder coating technology available today so that the product looks great and you're able to make the investment of your home even better. So if you have a beautiful cedar fence and now you don't want a galvanized color along the bottom of that post, well, we've powder coated them in an impregnated wood grain. And again, we'll try to get a close-up on this a little bit later, but you'll see the detail that's there. In fact, on this little sample, you'll see here's cedar with the galvanized on one side, and here it is with our redwood look on the other side. Same exact galvanized steel, but powder coated to look like wood. Dramatic improvement. And of course, if your fence is already damaged and you just want it to look better, what we suggest you do is seal it first and then put the fence armor on it, because once the wood has been wounded, you don't want water getting behind and getting down into the ground and rotting the post. For ornamental fences, we have a two-piece design as well, but in this case they just clip on the bottom of the ornamental fence, because the ornamental fences are typically aluminum or wrought iron, and we don't want you to have to be drilling through aluminum or wrought iron for many reasons, but certainly for ease of installation, it just clips on the bottom and you are good to go, protecting that fence for years to come. Some people say, well, why do I need to protect a metal fence? Well, if you've got an aluminum fence and you look at the bottom and see all the paint chipped off, you want to protect it. If you've got a wrought iron fence, what you'll see is the paint's chipped off and it starts to rust. So a lot of people have to come back and paint it with black paint. And doing that every year doesn't seem to make sense either. For people who have privacy fences, we have our Demi product. And the Demi product effectively has a shallow depth. And what that means really is if you have a fence with a bottom rail that's real tight, this will just cover the front face and the sides along the bottom. So you don't have to worry about it. It's also real handy for corners. So for instance, if you had a condition where you had a corner you wanted to manage, so here you have one side. This happens to be almond and clay, but you get the idea. We can now put this one on this side, and now you've got a 90-degree corner. So in fact, you can have two-sided, or you can even have three-sided protection. We're the only ones in the market that allow you to have that kind of versatility. Not only different colors, but how many sides you want to protect based on the condition you've got. You've got all of these beautiful different colors in the powder coated, and we have a real great patriotic edition, in this case with the US flag. It's dramatic, it really stands out, and certainly you don't have to use it at the bottom. You can certainly put it on the pickets, because fence armor is great for pickets as well. If you've got a white picket fence, you want to be using a piece of fence armor at the bottom to protect each one of those pickets so that they don't get damaged as well. Another important factor is, how do you install fence armor? Fence armor doesn't sit on the ground. fence armor will sit usually about 1.5 inches above the ground. So what I suggest to customers is they take a, probably do this in what my girl tells me is a B-roll, but we'll take a 2x4, we'll put it on the bottom, and then we'll put the fence armor on it, and that'll lift it about 1.5 inches. And once it's lifted 1.5 inches off the ground, then you've got the center line of the weed whacker. Because you trim your grass about 2 inches high, 2.5 inches to 3 inches high, so that's where you want to be. The other advantage is that when it's at that height, you don't have it sitting on the ground, potentially absorbing water, because water or moisture has a capillary action. It rises up underneath, and you don't want any of that absorption coming behind the metal. Or anything, for instance, because obviously it'll have a condition where you may get some moisture living there, and you'll get some moss or fungus under there as well. So fence armor is designed to live above the grass line so that it's at the right spot. And it doesn't waste any material. Why waste 2 inches of material on the ground when your trimmer is cutting up above it? As far as our fasteners go, if you buy our optional fasteners, you'll get one of 3 types. All of them are stainless steel. That's the first and most important thing. We don't want the fasteners corroding inside your lumber. And you'll know if you have an old fence and you pull off a board, you'll notice where the nail was in, that's where you start to see rot. Because that nail, the oxidization of that iron, is in the wood and it starts to eat away there. Stainless steel is not going to do that. So our stainless steel fasteners usually come with a Robertson or a Phillips head. Recently, because we've had customers who wanted both, and when I say Robertson I mean square for our friends around the world, we now have a new stainless head that is both Robertson, and if you have Phillips, it'll be Phillips. So you've got one and the same. So for you contractors, you got your square head, and for you do-it-at-home guys who only have a Phillips, you're good to go with your Phillips and you're ready to roll. Still stainless steel. For customers who buy our white fence armor, and you'll get our screws, you'll have a stainless steel screw as well, but it has physically a white head, and it's a hex, quarter-inch hex head, so you can just use a regular quarter-inch hex driver, put it in. It's magnetic, so it'll hold it. This is 410 stainless with a zinc oxide coating on it for extra protection. But once that's on there, go ahead and screw it into your material. But if you look at that screw, almost disappears. And certainly from 10 feet away or wherever you are, it's really invisible. And for those of you who get our black fence armor, we've got a black stainless steel screw, and there you'll see how that disappears into the background as well. So lots of different options, and a product that's truly engineered to take care of a problem and make your posts and fences and mailbox posts look great and beautiful, so they can last many more years than you expected. Some of the other advantages are, if you wanted to stain your fence, you can just unfasten your fence armor and then stain it and then put it back on. Or if you were moving and you wanted to take it with you, unscrew them and take them with you to your new home. So a lot of flexibility in how you use the fence armor product. For rural fences, we have our round rural fence protection. I have a separate video on the installation of this, and we'll have videos on all of these installations, but the concept is, as you can see, it's a circle. It's got a patented slot in here. We have some holes and slots in our new edition that will allow you to put it on your post and then fasten it with 3 screws, and now you've got it on your rural fence. Our packaging, sometimes you'll receive it in a box like this, and sometimes you'll just get your fence armor in a bag like this, and we're working on different kinds of packaging. All of it to be recycled, so paper or paper. We are working on some plastics that will be shrunk wrap around here, but we want to make sure they're also friendly to the environment before we ship those out.